Hello, Backpacker Luke here. Today we're going to be talking about bear stuff. So we're going to be talking about deterring an encounter with a bear. So hopefully you never even have to encounter one. But then if you do encounter a bear, what to do when you've encountered a bear. And we're just going to be going through the first half is basically how to deter the encounter at all. So the steps you can do and precautions you can take to hopefully never even encounter a bear. And then the second half of the video is going to be if you end up having an encounter with a bear, what you should do depending on the type of bear you're actually interacting with there. So there are three main types of bears. There's a black bear, a brown bear, and a white bear. Polar bear is what we would normally call that. So we're going to be talking about that in the second half of the video. So stick around till then if that interests you or not. I don't know. You do whatever you want, but I just want to give you information so you know. Okay, so the first thing is when you are going on a backpacking or hiking trip, first thing you should be doing is looking up, if you're unfamiliar with the area, look up what kind of dangers are in that area. So that sounds kind of alarmist, but it's true. Whenever I'm planning a new trip to go somewhere, I am looking up any kind of bugs or animals that are in that area that I'm not familiar with, and how much kind of what I should be looking out for on the trail. So is there a lot of poison ivy there? Is there a lot of predatory animals like bears or mongooses or wolverines, or are there moose on the trail a lot, because those can be very aggressive too. So you should always be looking up anywhere you're going to backpack or hike. Always look up what is in that area and be familiar with kind of the animals, creatures, and bugs and all that kind of stuff that you should just be on the lookout for, because everywhere is different. Especially if you're in the United States, we have like every kind of environment and type of terrain and all that kind of stuff. So we have a really wide range of what could be dangerous and what could not be and all that kind of stuff. So that's step number one to deter any kind of encounter, is just to understand what you possibly could encounter on the trail. Now, once you are on the trail, there's two main ways that you can sort of deter an encounter with a bear. The first one is to basically just wear something that makes noise naturally. So a lot of people, for this, they'll actually just hang bells either on their backpack or their belts or somewhere on them. And so as they're walking, the motion of them walking actually just creates a little bit of noise with those bells, and they don't have to worry about anything else, and they're making noise for them. So a bear normally will actually just want to avoid an encounter with you as well. They're not generally super aggressive, like they don't just come off the rip trying to be aggressive with you. So they'll actually hear you, and once they're aware that you're in the area, they'll avoid you. So bells are way number one, and that's, what you want is to just avoid an encounter, period. So number two is actually just to kind of like sing or talk to yourself, or just kind of talk and just like make some noise with your mouth, whatever, just kind of do that. If you're with a group of people, just as counter as it kind of sounds, actually just make a little bit of noise, have conversation, talk to each other, that kind of stuff. Don't hike in silence the entire time. So that way, once again, the bear just hears you talking. It understands that's not an animal. I want to be out of this area because it doesn't know what you are, and it doesn't want to encounter you just as much as you don't want to encounter it. So the third way is, excuse me, the third thing is, I should just say this off the bat as well. If you encounter a mama bear, she has cubs with her, just be very, very cautious no matter what. I don't care if it looks friendly or not. If you have a mama bear with cubs, she will do everything she can to defend her cubs from you, and she will be naturally more aggressive. So as we talk about the different types of bears, there's ones that you should have to fight back, and there's ones that you can kind of play dead. No matter what kind of bear it is, if it's a mama bear, be extra cautious, like even more than you normally would about encountering a bear. So the third one that I want to talk about is in addition to the other two. So you could wear bells, you could just kind of talk and make noise in general. Sometimes I'll like walk, if I'm hiking by myself or backpacking on my own, I'll whistle to myself, or I'll have a stick with me and I'll just kind of like snap stick branches and that kind of stuff, and just like generally make noise. Maybe talk to myself a little bit, whatever. You're just trying to like make some kind of noise that the bear understands that you're not an animal and you're not a bear, so it wants to avoid you. So what you also need to do, if you're in bear country, heavy bear country, you should always be carrying bear spray with you. I know some people, if they're like experienced backpackers, they might say, that's like overkill, but I honestly don't think it is. So carry bear spray with you as you're making noise in other ways. So that way, if you have an encounter, you have bear spray as an option. Just understand how to use the bear spray. This is another thing that is just smart. Understand how to use the bear spray. You don't want to get in a situation where you're carrying this because you know you should, but you've never actually even figured out how to use it. And then you have a situation where a bear is charging you and you need to use it and you can't. One thing I will tell you is that those canisters do not last very long. They usually have about a 15-second spray on them, which is crazy. So if you have a bear 100 feet away and it's like moving and lumbering towards you, don't start hitting the trigger right away, because you have about 15 seconds of spray in that can and then it's useless. So wait until it's within about 15 or 20 feet of you, then you hit it. So, but that's beside the point. That's about bear spray. But yeah, carry bear spray with you, and then also be like wearing bells or talking or singing or just kind of making general noise. That's the most important thing. Okay, now this is the second half of the video. So congratulations, you got through the first half. Now we're in the second half. Second half of the video is talking about 3 types of bears. It's the black bear, the brown bear or grizzly bear or Kodiak, this kind of, and then the last one is a polar bear. So with black bears, they are usually like the smallest kind of bear, and you actually want to, you've gone past, you've already encountered the bear. You don't make eye contact with it. You kind of just like slowly back up. Don't try to run. Don't try to climb a tree. You got to like really just understand what the bear is thinking and feeling at that moment. So if he doesn't look aggressive, if the bear doesn't look aggressive, just stand there and don't run. And then if it gets really aggressive with you, now that's where we're at. Okay. So the bear's being aggressive. It's coming at you. You don't have bear spray. You've already used it or whatever. It's still coming at you. With the black bear, fight back. Do everything you can to fight back. Poke it in the eyes, punch it in the snout, in the nose, kick it, whatever. If a black bear is aggressive with you, you need to fight for your life, because it is trying to kill you at that point. So that's fun. Black bear, fight back. Grizzly bear, brown bear, Kodiak bear, whatever. Best option, honestly, is to play dead. So play dead. It'll play around with you. It'll bat you around. It's going to be really rough on you. It might even bruise some ribs or stuff like that. But best option for those is to play dead. Also remember that every kind of bear, no matter how big it looks and not fast it looks, it can run faster than you, can climb faster and better than you. So running is never really an option with these things. Okay. So black bear, fight back. Brown bear, play dead. And then polar bear, if you have an interesting enough encounter to encounter a polar bear, you need to fight back on a polar bear as well. So that's the scary one, because those things are massive and they are really mean. So you need to fight back against polar bear. Same thing, punch it, kick it, hit it in the snout and the nose, poke it in the eyes, do whatever you can to fight back, because you are doing a fight to the death. So there you go. Just for kicks and giggles, just so you know, I thankfully have never had to actually fight a bear, but I have had a couple of encounters with a bear. Once again, thankfully, they were never aggressive towards me. One was, it was just like probably maybe 10 feet around the bend of a trail, and I was with a group of people. We were making noise, talking, that kind of stuff, and we heard the bear just ahead of us around the bend on the trail, and then we kind of just talked louder for a second. We stopped, talked louder for a second, and then it realized that we were there, and it went running down the side of the mountain and just kind of like crashed through all the undergrowth and brush and stuff and ran down the mountain, so we didn't have to have an encounter with the bear. Then the other time was in Montana. The other time was in California, hiking in the backcountry, and about 50 or so feet down the hill and at a lake, there was a mama bear with 2 cubs, and I don't know if they were aware of us or not, but thankfully they just kind of walked away from us. And then the kind of worrisome thing was they were walking towards the trail that we had just finished coming down, so they were probably going to get on the trail and either start walking towards us or away from us. So they were going to do one of those directions, and they were around a bend, so we didn't see which direction they chose, but we just started hiking faster for a while and just kind of kept our eyes out and ears out, and I would look back down the trail every once in a while to make sure it wasn't following us. So I have had a couple of encounters with bears, thankfully, sightings of bears, but thankfully no dangerous encounters. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope, you never have to use this information, but now if you do have to use it, you have it. So if you enjoy this kind of content, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.